Welcome to Sammy and Marissa's Husbands. We have a special episode for you today, joined by freight broker extraordinaire, former two-way starter on the Ashley Eagle offensive and defensive line, possibly the second best shooter on this call, small cock, Mike Jenks. Welcome to the program.
Am I allowed to speak now?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Hey, guys. Tyler, you said a lot of true things, a couple of things that weren't true. One, I have a very average cock, not small. And second of all, I'm by far the best fucking shooter in this call.
I figured that would
Let's get that straight. Yeah, let's get that straight.
Yeah, we figured that may come up. However, worst shooter when he has a hand in his face.
That's not true.
let's not get bogged down in the weeds this quick.
Okay.
Trey, why don't you break down the agenda? Then we'll get into it. We got time to talk.
All right, so before we get into the agenda, you didn't really mention my man's nickname, and I think everyone needs to know that it is Mike Jinks Swamp Donkey.
I thought I thought you were going to refer to him as MikeyTwoSticks because that's what we've referred to him as Mikey2Sticks, Swamp Donkey, MJ for people who
The GOAT.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah, be careful if you go back and listen to what we say about MJ. It might be a little suspect. But going into the agenda, right? We got This Day in History by Tyler. We'll talk about our athlete segment, a nice little interview, and then a new segment that we're going to try just because of our guest. Talk about the Olympics a little bit.
Nice.
Some pet peeves, and then closing comments. So pretty standard episode for you guys today. So Tyler, on you.
All right, today, August 7th, 1782, George Washington creates the Purple Heart Award. That's you get that when you are wounded in battle. All right.
Trey wouldn't know anything about that. He's never been in battle.
That's true. Yeah, look down on me because I've served my country and I've never been in battle.
All right,
Wes is somewhere gonna fucking slander a non-combat veteran in a wheelchair.
Well, he didn't get in that chair from service. Anyway, 1959, the first US satellite to photograph the Earth is launched. 1912, Teddy Roosevelt is nominated as Bull Moose candidate.
Good old Teddy. What a nickname too, by the way. Bull Moose. I mean, come on.
There's a lot of military stuff here. 1990, President George H.W. Bush orders Operation Desert Shield.
That's a real American right there. HW.
HW does not negotiate with terrorists, even if we shoot down an enemy passenger plane. Look it up. There were civilians, HW.
Collateral damage.
Gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Hey, HW eats red meat. He's got red blood, and he's a true American.
I'm a fan of HW, but he is dead. He doesn't do any of those things.
That's true.
All right. That's all I got for today.
Okay, so good day in history, August 7th. August, very hot month. Not my favorite month, to be honest. Usually August is like a downhill spiral, I feel like, because summer's ending. We're back in the real world. It's still hot as nuts. Not quite fall yet. But that's the world we live in.
Right in the swing of hurricane season right now.
True. Speaking of hurricane season, you guys are getting touched with a little bit of a little storm, right?
We got some. Oh, I'm sorry. You said you guys. I always think of you guys in the same place. We're all in 3 different cities.
That is
Correct.
true. You are down. You're a Florida boy right now.
Yeah.
Now it's already come through your way, Mike.
Yeah, it was just a sprinkle. I thought you were talking to me when you said you guys, but yeah, it was just a sprinkle for us.
We're getting we haven't gotten anything crazy yet. I think it's just a tropical storm at this point. We are off work tomorrow though, Wes and I. So
Nice.
not upset about that.
Yeah, I guess people don't eat crabs during hurricanes.
I think they're more concerned about the safety. Actually, yeah, we're not going to sell crabs to restaurants, basically, is what.
Yeah, I am a little bit surprised. I'm sure there's zero bread and zero milk in every grocery store.
Honestly, I'm a little concerned that it's not being taken seriously enough because I went to the grocery store and there was like nobody there, which makes me feel like some like kind of weird nature reverse psychology thing is about to happen. Of course, the first one I have owning my house.
I think you'll be all right. Mike, so you guys like, did it hit you guys directly or was it more so off the coast?
No, we got some outer bands. It was the worst we got. We got about 45 minutes to an hour of wind. Knocked a loose limb off a tree in my front yard and got some sprinkles, but that was pretty much it. It was nothing crazy.
All right, I feel you there. That's good. That's good
Yeah.
news, right?
Yeah.
I do think it's going to be a hell of a hurricane season, though.
Well, I hope not. I
Me
hope you
too.
didn't jinx it. I hope you didn't just put that out there, but yeah, I hope not.
Yeah, I mean, me and Mike are in danger if that's the case.
You'll be all right. You've lived on the coast your entire lives.
I just
It
I just
just
thank God. I thank God Almighty that we have a good friend like Trey, that if something, God forbid, were to happen, we could always go live with him and he would welcome us with open arms. So I'm just so thankful, you know?
his house is
Absolutely.
big enough.
Coming from Mr. fucking 800 square feet over there.
You talking to me?
Yeah, who else am I talking to?
Buddy, my house is 1,100 square feet.
All right.
Listen, you grew up here, you don't even know the square footage. Anyway, while we're talking about houses, Mike, I know your house is closing on Friday. I'll give you a
Yeah.
early congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you, because I'll be getting a little bit of check in the mail. My fourth referral.
What do you get? 1%, 2%? What do you get?
I get 25% of what Marisol got.
No shit, that much?
Referrals are good. Referrals are good business, bro.
That's crazy. That honestly, that's a scam for Marisol. You get 20, you get a fourth. Wait, does it come out of her money or is it extra on top?
No, it comes out of hers. It does. It's not like extra for you.
Oh my God, that's fucking awful. I honestly, I feel bad for her. A fourth of what she got
What percentage did she charge you? 5%?
total. Yeah,
Five total?
total. Yeah, three for her, two for the seller, I think, or the buyer, whatever.
3 for her?
Yeah,
Uh, you might need to send me your buyer agency agreement. I need to make sure she sends me the correct amount of money.
I could be incorrect because this has been a very fly by night process for me. I've pretty much just been signing everything that comes my way, not
Yeah,
really paying attention.
it's not typical for an agent to take a full percentage point more. They usually split it 50-50.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know.
What'd you sell the house for?
It's personal. Don't worry about it.
I just want to make sure I'm getting the right amount of money, and I'm starting to spend the money already in my head.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, first of all, that's your problem. You need to save the money. Don't spend it. Second of all, we can talk off camera. I don't want everybody out in the world knowing my business,
Fair
so
enough. Fair enough.
That's
And
true. I mean,
and
Tyler,
and respected. Fair enough and respected. I won't ask another question about it.
all right, Tyler is lucky that he has good friends like us that gets him free money.
literally.
He got me a realtor that sold me the wrong house. So
And
that
Trey,
is that is
you and
another
I,
topic for a different day. But
you and I can talk off camera as well. I don't want to openly slander anybody, but I also have beef with Tyler's selection and his process. So
I
okay,
can
yep.
I can confidently tell you that you guys it has not been the best, and I'm a little upset about that because their reviews were insanely good.
mm,
And the referral I got with Christopher, he used one of his friends and she sucked. So the only one that's been a good referral, GERD, was a referral that I made $200 off of. The other ones have been kind of shit, but free money for me. You guys are okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like that. So moving on, right? We're gonna do our normal athlete segment, but Mike is gonna be the target of that segment. So I know you probably know how it goes, but this is how it's gonna go, just to reiterate. You're gonna guess a random athlete, and if you are correct, then me and Tyler have to chug a beer on camera for you. Uh, if you're not correct, which I hope you're not, because my beer is probably actually boiling in my garage right now. Then you'll ask questions and we'll walk you in with yes or no answers, okay? So with that, go ahead and give us your best guess.
Seeing as this is my first time, I would like to just to ask a framing question. Is this athlete specifically tailored to me, or is this just a random athlete? Like when you guys thought of this athlete, did you like Mike knows this athlete or likes this athlete?
Yes.
So it is sort of tailored to you, but not like specifically tailored.
Tim Tebow.
Fuck.
Eat my fucking ass. Are you serious?
You're kidding.
You're lying.
I swear to
Fuck.
God.
Swear to God.
Yeah, I swear to God.
Oh wow, that's fantastic. Oh my God.
Oh man.
Well, this is the first time
Guys,
this.
what can I say? What can I say?
Trey, I think I should chug and then you should chug just so Mike doesn't have to carry the airtime by himself. Not saying he can't, but we shouldn't put that on him.
Oh, I can carry it. Don't worry. I'm gonna be gloating the whole fucking time. Don't you worry about it.
I'm so up. Don't tell anybody that you got that though. Let it be a surprise for people when they listen, Mike.
Okay. And I feel like I genuinely feel like, am I being punked? Is this a prank? Or is this
No, I swear to God.
genuinely the
No,
fucking
that's
athlete?
it.
I
No,
can
that's
show you the screenshots of our conversation about who we're going to talk about. And it was like, he's a Florida fan. Let's do Tebow. We haven't done college athletes, so he probably won't guess it on the first try. Sure enough. Damn.
You forgot who the guest was.
Do you
I'm a literal
understand?
genius.
I think you need to understand it's been 100 degrees for like 3 months straight, and my beers have been sitting in my garage. It's a rules are rules. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
go
mean,
in there
it is what it is,
and I'm gonna shotgun a literal boiling beer right now. But
do you want to go first or second?
I'll go first. I'll go get mine right now.
All right. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, this is fantastic.
This is unprecedented territory we're in right now.
Wow.
I do have a couple of questions. I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. We're going to treat this interview style, Mike. So, talk a little bit about Corey's athletic career with him being a multi-sport athlete. I'm sure you listened to that episode. We talked about his baseball and his golf career.
I loosely listened. I was driving, but yes.
Nice to know that you don't listen intently.
Well, I was paying attention to the road, keeping myself safe. I was listening, but I wasn't,
Sure.
Yeah.
So you yourself also a multi-sport athlete. I'm not gonna include basketball in this only because we'll get into that later. I'm sure we'll talk about rec sports, but I have 4 school sports that you played, and I'm not sure if I'm correct, but I'm just going off my memory.
Okay.
Obviously, I mentioned that you were a 2-way starter, and I believe, if memory serves correct, that you were a varsity athlete your sophomore year.
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
Okay. And what did for me personally?
With my
Go ahead.
headset on.
Go ahead and chug it. I was in the middle of an interview.
All right. It'd be like that sometimes. You ready?
Let's see that. Open the throat, tilt your head back. Yeah, there we go. There it is.
It sounds warm.
Yeah. He's powering through it though.
That was gross.
Yeah.
All right, Trey, you want me to let you know where I'm at? I'm going to finish my question, then I'll do my beer.
All right, go for it.
Just with your stature, it seems to me that your build was better suited for the D line. Would you agree with that, or did you prefer offensive line? What was your feeling on that?
No, I was an offensive lineman my sophomore year. I liked it. It was all right. But I specifically requested to be transferred over to the defensive line because it's just more fun to create the chaos than it is to react to the chaos, Like in the defensive line, you're in your own world. Offense, you got to like react and be just not as fun.
And you were a guard?
Yeah, I was a left guard, and then I switched to a defensive tackle.
Okay. Protecting the blind side.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but yeah.
Okay. I also have a very vivid memory of you playing middle school lacrosse and warping your stick. Is that a
Mm.
true story?
That is a true story, and that was a really good time. Technically, warping my stick isn't like a good thing because that means I illegally hit a lot of people. But yes, the stick did get warped. The lumber was laid many times, and it was really I enjoyed the cross a lot actually.
And for the people who might not know, so when you play lacrosse, when you hit somebody, you're supposed to keep your hands together on the stick, right?
Yeah. You're supposed to keep your hands together. I don't know like how closely they watch it. I don't know like how they determine how far your hands can be apart, but mine were on multiple occasions very clearly not anywhere close to being together. And I think I got ejected from a game or two, but it was fun. It was just an excuse to hit people. You're in middle school, you want to fucking hurt people, so it was fun.
I'm a grown man and I want to hurt people, so I can.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also have, and these were two. Obviously, I knew the other two, the two sports I just mentioned. I knew that for a fact. I have a vague memory of you doing track and field. Did that happen?
That happened, yes, and I was not. It wasn't by choice by any means. It was forced onto me by the football coaches.
And you were a thrower, I assume?
Yeah, I was a thrower, but they were cruel and sadistic fucks, and they made the offensive linemen also run the 400. Um, I guess all the schools got together and just decided to put on a fucking show, like a comedy show. So all the linemen from each school raced each other in the
That
400
that
meter
is cruel
race.
and unusual punishment, I would say.
Yeah, it was honestly it was bullshit. I didn't like it at all. But
Were you any good as a thrower?
thrower, I was all right. I didn't really put much effort or intent behind it. It was just something that I had to do.
Right.
I mean, if you're asking me if I was good, I'm naturally athletic, outrageously strong. All you had to do was throw a ball in the air. So yeah, I was good at it. But like, I wasn't. I didn't make states or conference or anything like that.
Heard. And then the last one, I know this one is true. I didn't really know about the track and field, but I vividly remember you and Wes going to 3 or 4 days of wrestling practice.
Wes, did Wes ever go? I think you're
I
remembering
think
that wrong. I don't think Wes ever went.
I'm gonna see him later today, so I'll double check with him. I'm pretty sure he went though. But did you do 3 full days?
Yeah, I did. I don't remember how many days it was, but I definitely went.
Did
And
you even get to wrestle, or was it just cardio?
it was, I'd say 98% fucking cardio, which is the reason that I quit because I just didn't want to do that. But we got on the mat a little bit and it was kind of like, I don't know if you're familiar with jujitsu. There's a difference between like rolling and actually competing. So I would consider what we did the rolling version of wrestling. It was kind of just like sparring, it was loose, it was light, it was, nobody was really trying to slam anybody or nothing like that.
I don't know if you know this, but in New York when I was growing up, I didn't play basketball. In the fall, I wrestled. I wrestled third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, and was at one time third place in Rockland County. So at one tournament,
And one tournament, okay.
not overall. I got third place at one tournament, I should say,
Yeah,
in Rockland County,
yeah.
not the whole of Rockland County. So you're talking to another former flame out wrestler. So
I mean, look, accomplishment's accomplishment, one time third place.
I've got a medal, buddy. I
Yeah.
don't, you know what I mean, like, all right, Trey, I'm going to pass it over to you. I'm going to get up and grab my beer.
All right. All right. That beer sucked, by the way. It's very warm. Couple things after listening to you and Tyler's combo. I think Wes did wrestle for 3 days because I have a vivid memory of him trying to carry J Ray on his back up the stairs while we were doing some basketball stuff in that auxiliary gym we had upstairs. Um, And then also, you mentioned laying the lumber.
Mm,
Do
yeah.
you remember? And now I can't
Vividly.
remember.
Vividly, like like it happened 5 fucking minutes ago. I remember where I was sitting. I remember where he was standing. I remember where we were at in the fucking locker
So
room.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yes. It was a coach. He was like a short, kind of not chubby, but stockier white dude.
Huge calves.
Huge fucking calves. I mean, he monstrous calves. And he did a whole show and dance about how this kid was laying. He said lumba.
Lay the lumber. What is that dude's name? You know
I
who would know that is Nick. Nick would remember who that is
I bet.
because he said it. He used to say it all the time. But man, I can't remember that dude.
You
Um,
know about that dude with the giant calves?
Yeah.
No idea what that guy's name is.
God, I wish I remember that dude's name. It's gonna come to me, and I'm gonna think about it. But man, that was funny. But that sparked when you said lay the lumber. That sparked my memory. Um, but I have some questions for you. All right. Um, First question. What do you think of the growing Latino population in our country?
I can only speak specifically of Central Florida. And I can only, there's two parts to the question, or it's two parts to my answer. One, gigantic fan of the female population growing of Latinas in Central Florida. Big fan. Really don't have much of an opinion on the growing male population. I don't really communicate or see much of them. Um, but I like it. And Central Florida is kind of like a hub for them, and the weather is similar to their motherlands, and it's close enough to Miami where all of their family is at. So Orlando's a hot spot.
Yeah, no, I would imagine it's definitely a hot spot, especially with the language, right? A lot of Spanish speaking stuff going on up there, close to Miami, like you said. But I'm sure that is a nice sight to see for yourself, especially on the old Hinge population.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know this because I don't know how familiar or much experience you have, but they love the gringos,
Yeah.
especially gringos with money. They go crazy. They lose their fucking mind.
All
It's
right.
like
So
I'm a kid in a candy shop, baby. I'm shooting fish in a barrel, and it's too easy. I feel like it feels like a crime, honestly.
it may be.
Yeah.
I
Okay. All right.
I do have to say, it's truly a pleasure to watch, to live vicariously through you.
Yeah.
That beer sucked.
Yeah, it sucked. Yeah, we got front row seats right now, and I am posted up. I got my feet kicked up, right? I'm drinking hot Coors Light. Like I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it's fun. I mean, you guys are having a good time watching it. I'm living it, and
yeah,
it's fucking it's fantastic. I'm having a great time.
I love it. It's like your Olympics.
Literally.
All right, so next question. What should every person be doing right now to become financially free? I know you are our, you know, financial advisor of a sort, right?
Mhm. Okay, yeah.
So what should every person be doing right now in their life to ultimately become financially free?
I will say that my advice is not what I'm going to say is not financial advice. So if anybody when people listen to this and they utilize what I'm going to say and it blows up in their face, I'm not financially responsible.
Right.
Just to make that clear.
This is just what you would do.
Right.
Yeah.
We tell people to gamble on all these sports that we talk about. And honestly, if they listen to us, they'd be down a lot of money. So
Yeah, true. You guys went on a historic losing streak with your parlays and your straight bets. It was honestly pretty fun to watch.
Why do you think we haven't done bets in 15 episodes, bro?
those segments don't really happen anymore.
Yeah. No, but I mean, right now, I don't know if you guys are keeping up with the financial markets, but as of last Friday, things took an absolute fucking shit. I think it was 1.29 trillion dollars was wiped from the US stock market in the span of 12 hours. Japan, their stock market plummeted about 15%. Uh, Markets all over the world are in an absolute fucking headspin right now. So, in regards to stocks, the thing that I'm doing and the thing that most of the people that I'm speaking to are doing is just if you still have your stocks, you're kind of fucking stuck. You're holding the bag. You can't really sell them because you'll take a massive loss. But if you have cash uninvested, a lot of people are just putting them in CDs, or myself, I have Robinhood Gold, which gives you 5% on all uninvested cash. So instead of trying to make returns on trades, I'm just getting 5% interest on all of my uninvested money. Playing it safe. I'm waiting for the election to play out. If Kamala and Tim, whatever the fuck her name is, if they win, I fully expect things to take an absolute fucking nosedive. And if Trump wins, of course, things are going to skyrocket because he's a red-blooded American, and he America comes first, and companies like that. So, but yeah, but in regards to that, other than that, I would say probably just like stop bitching and fucking work more.
I
I
like
mean,
that.
a lot of these people that I know and that I see, they just fucking they want to sit on their couch and be rich, and the world does not work that way. So you just got to shut the fuck up, eat your shit, and just work. If you got to get a second job, then get a second job. It is what it
There's
is.
only been one person where sitting on your couch and making money has worked, and it worked for me in 2022. And then let me tell you something. I had a rude awakening in 2023, baby. Now I'm back on the street hustling. I forgot where I came from, and the universe had to set me right.
But I don't want you, Tyler, I don't want you to feel like you're alone in that. A lot of people were eating 2021, 2022, feasting. Shit was good. And then in
Shit.
2023, people got a fucking slap in the face, a reality check. And you're not alone, man. I know a lot of people that made a fucking killing in 2022, and then probably less than half in 2023. So
I lost 80% income.
yeah, and it'd be like that sometimes, baby. I mean, the economy dictates income for a lot of people, especially you. I mean, the economy is tied to your income like a mother.
And this year's been much better than 2023 for me
Yeah.
personally. I will say I did hear you disparage Tim Walls.
Hmm.
I do kind of like that guy. Took
So,
a Owen. Hold on now. Hold on now. I'm not going to talk politics. I'm going to talk facts. Took a 0-win team to a state championship in football in 3 years.
we're talking about the governor or the mayor, whatever the fuck he is, of Minnesota.
Yep.
That liberal cuck coached a football team.
He's not as liberal as you think he is.
I've seen many of the bills that he signed into place. I mean, unless he's just a fucking puppet, then he's a liberal cuck. As deep as a liberal cuck can go, he is that deep.
Head football coach.
That's crazy. That absolutely blows my mind.
That's because you're being fed the propaganda, brother.
It's not propaganda. I'm looking at the bills that he signed into place. I don't even have cable. I'm not watching Fox News.
Who said anything about Fox News?
You said propaganda and the
He,
conservative propaganda. See, now you're gaslighting, and I don't appreciate that.
All right.
he,
Before we get into too much politics, let's go to the next question. Next question. So all the boys are together, right? We're chilling. It just so happens it's time. We're gonna throw a movie on, right? You're in charge. What movie are you throwing on? We need some laughs, some good stuff. What's a good movie that you're gonna throw on?
I have a movie in my mind, and I want you to tell me what it is because I know you're all picking the same movie, or at least I think you're all picking the same movie.
So
it's
yeah, go ahead.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
It's one of two. I think with the bigger group, probably Division 3 or Anchorman.
Yeah, those are the two that I was sitting at as well. Also, I was thinking you might throw on something like Monty Grail and the whatever movie that is.
But Monty Python and the Holy Grail is a, is
Yes,
a
yeah.
goat is a goat movie. But no, Division 3 football will forever always be the greatest comedy movie ever made. I mean, that's it. There's so many quotable. The shit don't miss. The whole
It
movie.
doesn't miss.
Mike,
It may be the most quotable movie of all time.
Mike, I showed Mike the conversation I had with the guy who directed it and starred in it on Instagram, and Mike tried to force me to message him about the podcast, try and get him on here. And I wish I did. I was just having a panic attack in my brain, so I
You
didn't do it.
you should 100%. That would be amazing.
Yeah, looking back on that moment, I would Tyler almost treated it like it was like I don't understand what the holdup was. Like you were acting scared. You were acting like literally frightened. And
It's
it's just a DM. All you had to do is send the guy a DM. Like, what's the big deal?
it's mental illness is what it is. I don't. I wish I could. I wish I could not be that way.
You can. You just got to get outside, get some vitamin D. Like Mike said, get off your couch and work some more.
Yeah, Trey, I think me and you can agree with this. You just got to fucking get over it.
Yeah.
You just got to man up and get over it. Really.
Uh,
Took the
coming
words
from
right out of my mouth.
coming from Trey doesn't experience anxiety though, and I know you do. So that's strange coming out of your fucking mouth.
Now,
Coming
see
coming from
that's why
you.
that's
So
why
okay,
Trey
go ahead, Mike.
that's why Trey respectfully can't fucking say anything. You know, he's an outsider looking in. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Me, I've been there. I've lived that life. And all I did was man the fuck up and get over it. And now I don't get them anymore.
Oh, you get him.
Didn't no. I have no knock on wood, God forbid, but I haven't had any experiences like that in years. I spent a year and a half to 2 years with agoraphobia, panic attacks, anxiety. And one day I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going outside. I'm getting over this bullshit. This isn't real. It's all in my head. It's fake. And I'm going to fucking man up. And that's exactly what I did. It sucked. Every minute of it sucked. But now I'm out there flying on fucking death traps in the sky. I'm traveling. I'm going all over the place. Not a care in the
Spread,
world.
spreading that seed
Spreading
all
that
across.
alpha white seed,
Go
baby.
forward.
Yeah. Doing the Lord's work.
Oh Christ. But look, just look at me and Mike's cameras right now. Like Mike has some sun shining into his window. I got some sun shining into my window. I guarantee your curtains are closed.
There's no sunshine. I'm in the middle of a fucking tropical storm. There's
Allegedly.
no sun.
All right. Next question. All right. When's the last time that Wes has beaten you in 2K?
I'm trying to think back. I mean, it's very seldom, few and far between. I will say that the last time I was in town, I think I had beaten him 4 or 5 times in a row. And at a certain point, it gets tiresome, you know, like it's not fun anymore. So you start to play little games within the game, like, oh, I'm going to try to score 40 with X, Y, and Z. And in the pursuit of that, you make turnovers, you take bad shots, you might lose a game or two. So he did beat me last time I was there, but only after about 4 or 5 consecutive wins.
Yeah,
That's the
we were talking about it and we were trying to take bets on when the last time it was and Tyler said 2009.
back when we were still playing NBA Live.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Wes is good. That's the problem. He is pretty good, but he's truthfully just not on our level.
No.
And he plays these guys online who suck fucking cock and beats up on him. And then he's like, oh, dude, I made 3 people quit. Come over. I go over to his house and I fucking mollywop the kid and I feel bad. And that's what I'm going over to his house later today because he's due.
And thank God you're there to take him down a peg because I can't have him walking around thinking he's good. He needs to know.
No, it gets to the point I'll beat him twice and then he'll be like, oh, fucking motherfucker. Okay. And then I'll be like, why do you do this to yourself? And then we'll just end up watching YouTube videos or something.
What he does is he starts to lose and then he 6 milli on you. He'll get Millie to start like crawling all over your face.
Poor
All right.
guy.
So last question. Are you ever gonna pay your part for the Airbnb?
That is a good question. What I'll probably do is make you wait until the very last minute. Probably give it to you as we're leaving the trip. and I'll hand you the money.
Yeah, that checks out. I would
Yeah.
expect nothing less from you.
Yeah. Or I was also thinking, now that you brought this up and you've been kind of a prick about it, I'm thinking that maybe I make it as inconvenient as humanly possible for you. Like get just how much was it? 280? How
Something
much?
like that. Yeah,
Something like
something
that.
like that.
Just get like 28,000 pennies delivered to your house.
Money's money, baby.
I mean, money is money. You're right, but it would be terribly inconvenient to have pallets of pennies stacked up in your garage.
Mike,
Honestly, I would probably donate it and not just. I would be like, hey, here's a neighborhood kid. Here, take some pennies.
Mike, if you send it to him, you have to make sure it's unrolled. Otherwise, he could just take it to the bank.
Oh no, 100%. It's not being rolled. I'm gonna ship it in totes. I'm just gonna dump pennies in totes and ship it to his garage.
It's going to cost more than $280 to get there.
It's worth it. Money, money's no object. And just the thought of Trey sifting through a tote of pennies, counting them and rolling them is worth more than any money that you could ever give me.
Like I said, I'm gonna roll it out into the cul-de-sac and say whoever wants this can have it. Okay, so with that, we're gonna take a quick commercial break.
Do you or does anybody struggle with mental illness, depression, anxiety, or any other made up bullshit? If so, try getting the fuck over it. It's not real. It's all in your mind, and you are your own worst enemy. This message is brought to you by Jinx Pharmaceuticals.
Thank you to Jenks Pharmaceuticals for bringing us that uplifting and really, it seemed like pointed ad, but that's neither here nor there. Trey, why don't you enlighten the audience on what else we got planned for the episode?
All right, so next is gonna be kind of a news segment. I listen to this podcast called The Sean Ryan Show. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Okay, well, he's like a Navy SEAL dude, and he has on some cool guests and stuff like that. But he does this segment where he always does. It's called the EDC segment, right? Everyday carry.
Mm.
All right. So with that, MikeyTwoSticks, what is your everyday carry? Now, it can be a lot of things. It can be, phone, wallet, keys. It can be, you packing, you got a knife on you, you keep any like medical kits, any survival kits, anything like that. So, do you have anything that you specifically carry with you every day?
Yes, I do. I have maybe too much that I require on a daily basis. Um, I do have my concealed carry that I have on me at all times because you never know when shit pops off. You don't want to be without it. And for close combat purposes, I do carry a knife. I have my phone, wallet, keys, as every fucking person does. And then ever since I got my wisdom teeth taken out, I guess the structure of my jaw and my teeth have changed. And every single time I eat, without fail, things are stuck in my teeth, and it is super annoying. So I carry these little bad boys around with me everywhere I go. I have them in my car. I have them at my desk. I have them in my house. Necessity.
Yeah, for the audience, it's those little green flossers, the little picks.
Yeah.
Um, that's honestly, I might need to start carrying those because there is nothing worse than
Oh,
just having some kind of food in your teeth that you just can't get out.
oh my God. No, it's. I know you guys do a pet peeve segment. This wasn't my pet peeve, but ultimate all time pet peeve thing stuck in the teeth. Like there's nothing worse.
I
Mike,
hear you there.
um, I have I got my first filling maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, and it cracked and a part of it fell out. And I, like you, get shit stuck in it all the time. For me, it seems to be chicken. Always gets stuck in my teeth. I don't know, like chicken and then celery, which makes sense to me. The stringiness of it is
Well,
what.
chicken's also pretty, I wouldn't say stringy, but you do have to
Yeah,
like
but yeah,
grind and
yes, it's pretty fucking annoying.
yeah.
Okay, so you have your concealed carry, so you carry on you every day, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Do you want to share what you carry?
Yeah. Can I show it? I mean,
You
is there some
you
type of
can
law?
show it, but the listeners won't be able to see it.
Okay,
So
it's
you
all
can show it if
listeners.
you'd like.
All right, well, let me. So I carry a 9mm Hellcat. It's got a 9+1. It's relatively small, so it's not heavy. It doesn't, it's not big, but it packs a punch. So yeah, that's what I carry for the firearm. For the knife, it's just like a little flip knife. I had a OTP knife that it was pretty badass, but I lost it. Well, I didn't lose it, like I don't know the physical location. I lost it because I gave it away. Um, and now I don't have it anymore, so I have to get a new one.
Do you have a holster? Do you keep it in a duffel? Do you appendix carry? How do you usually carry it?
I got a sticky holster.
Okay.
For anybody that doesn't know what that is, that's just like a glove for your gun, really, that you can easily take it out of and put it in. It covers the trigger. So when you're concealed carrying it, it's not like something can snatch on the trigger and accidentally shoot you or make the gun go off. But yeah, it's just a sticky holster.
Okay. All right. That's cool. I'm getting into it a little bit. I'm about to buy my first pistol. I think we talked about it.
You did?
Um, so I'm getting into, figuring out what holster I want to get, how I want to carry it, whether it be just keep it in my duffel at all times, if I want to keep it on my person. So that's definitely something I've been interested in recently.
Yeah.
Um, but
If
yeah, that's that.
I'm not an expert by any means, but if you are going to concealed carry, I would recommend keeping it on your person because if you have it in a fucking duffel bag, then it's really, if you're not with your duffel bag at all times.
Right. No, I got you there for sure. But just in terms of like transporting it, like getting in the car, I just don't know how comfortable it is. It's going to be something I just have to play around with.
Yeah,
Technically, when I'm in uniform, I'm not allowed to carry on my person, which is interesting. Um,
very.
but uh, but right. So like every time I leave my car, I always have some sort of bag with me, whether it's just a backpack or if it's a duffel, like I said. So, usually everywhere I'm going, I have that book bag on me, and I do keep like a knife. I keep a knife on me all the time. It's just a standard like flip knife, like you talked about. It's
Yeah,
Elite Force is the brand. It's pretty standard. I probably need to sharpen it. Um, but a man without a knife is a man without a life,
literally.
literally. Um, So hold on.
My knife is a CRKT. It's the one that I carry.
Would you?
Yeah,
What,
Tyler.
what kind of knife is that? I don't know.
It's just like, a regular flip knife, black encasing. The blade's a little darker. Columbia River Knife and Tool is what it stands for.
Okay, okay.
All right,
Which
so
standard. A little serrated at the top, at the base, I mean.
all right, moving on. Olympics. Have you been keeping up with the Olympics at all?
Keeping up with, I would say it's on at my office all day. So I've been like sporadically watching random events. There was ping pong on the other day, basketball, of course. I was watching the triple jump earlier today. Um, so I mean, I guess I would say keeping up, not intently, but loosely.
Okay, so if you had to be an Olympic athlete, what sport would you pick? It doesn't have to be what you're good at, but just something that would be the most fun to compete in.
The most fun. I would say that it would be the thing that I'm best at and the thing I think it would be most fun. I love ping pong. I mean, it's a really fun sport. I love playing it. I play it every day at the office, and I think it would be badass. And I'm speaking out of pocket here because I have no factual knowledge if this is true or not. But I think I would be the first United States gold medalist in ping pong. I think the Chinese have dominated that sport since the early 1900s, and it would be really cool to bring one home for USA in ping pong.
I can tell you for a fact, the U.S. women's team won this year.
What? Come on, I'm talking about real ping pong.
Oh, men's ping pong, excuse
Yeah,
me.
men's ping pong. I'm talking about real sports.
I mean, that's my fault.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I think ping pong is probably it's got to be up there with the most exciting Olympic sports to watch.
Oh,
It is so fast paced and like the grunts, right? And just the shit that they do is absolutely absurd.
yeah. No,
Um,
just like the rallies that they have, the just 20 feet off the table, just spiking balls. It's exhilarating. It's a great watch. I don't know if you guys have ever watched like an official ping pong match, but it's fun.
yeah, no, I have never seen an official ping pong match in person, but watching that stuff on TV is absolutely nuts and it's super fun to watch. Um, So we've really been keeping up with mostly basketball, just in terms of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And the U.S. just played Brazil. They smacked Brazil pretty good. I think this was in the first game out of the round robin tournament that they played in. A couple of things that stuck out to me is once again, Tatum really didn't play that much. So I think he is the cop out. He's that guy that's going to be sitting the bench, and it's got to be tough for him, right? You just won the NBA championship. You on the cover of 2K, and man, what's gotta be going through your head if you're Jason Tatum, like thinking you're the man, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, you're getting a DNP.
I think this started for him probably even before the Olympics. And obviously I don't know him. He probably doesn't have any confidence issues, but he's been touted as the best player on the Celtics for years now. And then Jaylen Brown wins that Finals MVP, and he carried them, I thought, until the last couple of games of the finals where Tatum got out of his shell. Then Olympics roll around, and he seems to be the odd man out. So I'm sure that's a big confidence hit. And as you know, at that level, those guys are really only separated by such small margins that confidence is a huge factor in how they play.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
I mean, I'm not a hater by any means. I don't think he's a bad player. But yes, he did win the championship, and he was arguably the best player on that team all year long. I mean, he did have a little bit of a rut there towards the end, but I personally don't think by any means is he the best player in the world.
No.
So like he's on a team with he's on the Olympic team that has the most studs, I think maybe ever. I mean, this is just like I mean, he's not an idiot, I don't think. So he's got to understand that he's also young. He's playing with possibly the greatest player to ever play, Stephen Curry. And you got, Embiid's on the team. You got Anthony Davis. You got all these studs. So he just isn't the guy, you know?
Yeah, you
It's
just you just snuck
it is
Steph
yeah.
Curry being the greatest player ever in there, and me and Tyler are both having heart palpitations.
You conveniently didn't even mention LeBron or Kevin Durant, which I thought was nice. I mean, that's a little bit of subterfuge, I think. But I will say I'm gonna just kind of pivot away from this conversation because I don't think I'm gonna be able to keep myself calm. And I love you, and I want this to be a fun time. Medal count,
Mm.
United States. We are number one in golds right now, and total medal count. We are blowing everybody away, up by 29 on the next closest country, which is China, and we have two more gold medals than them. So, like we've been predicting the whole Olympics, I do think we're going to end up running away with the gold medal count and the total count. And American excellence. I know you think I'm a liberal cuck, but I'm America first too, baby. All right, that's just the facts.
Yeah. And I'm America number one all day. America's the greatest fucking country on the planet. No ifs, ands, or buts. We do send the most athletes, so it makes sense that we have the most medals. I mean, we send athletes for literally every fucking sport. So if we don't win the most medals, it's a disgrace and it's a travesty. What I care about is the golds.
Yeah, but also, I mean, you're right. We've made that statement before. We have the most athletes, just like China, Australia, France, these other countries that are at the top.
Yeah.
Those athletes still have to qualify. It's not like we get a free bid to it.
No, I know that. I know that. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like,
Yeah.
It's a given that we win the most medals, gold, silver, bronze. Like that, if that ever doesn't happen, then there's a huge fucking problem.
I think the only Olympics in the past 5 or 6 where we didn't win the most golds was in Beijing. And I'm not going to say,
Say it. No, say it, because I know what you're thinking. I agree with you. Say it.
I mean, I'll say it. The Chinese Olympic Committee is corrupt. They've gotten a lot of doping violations, and they're on their home turf,
Yeah.
making it difficult for Americans. That's just. I mean, granted, this is 16 years ago, but it is what it is.
I mean, the Chinese have been on their bullshit for much longer than 16 years. So,
Yeah, I mean, China, Russia, all these communist countries always have doping scandals, and for some reason, the Olympic Committee lets them compete. I don't understand it because Americans would get scrutinized to the fucking 100th degree if we had that shit going on.
yeah.
Mike Phelps was getting scrutinized for fucking marijuana.
Yeah, you're right. Unfortunately, it is being the best. You are the bar. So you're held to rules and expectations that others just simply aren't. And it is what it is. That comes with excellence.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense though because China is also a huge world power and they have amazing athletes too. Why aren't they held to this standard?
But
Like what
it's kind of like you're the big brother, and yeah, your brother's successful, your brother's strong, he's fast, but he's not you. You know, like he can cheat a little bit, and it's cute. You respect him for trying to win. But at the end of the day, you know what it is.
Okay. That's a good way to put it, I think. I think that's a good way to summarize it.
You know what it is. So moving on, I think Mike, did you have some questions for us? Or no?
Talking about random questions.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I came up. Tyler said two, so I came up with two. I could always think of more if
You-
necessary.
I said two each, like one for me and like two for me, two for Trey, or four that is open to all of us. So that's your call how you want to frame it.
Okay, so this first one's gonna be for both of you.
Okay.
Putting on your hater hat, somebody active right now, if you could put a plan into action that has them fall from grace, who would it be? Who are you
And then
hating on right now?
in
Just life,
sport,
just in life.
anything? Trey, you want to take it first or you want me to go?
I'm thinking about it. I can try and take it unless you have somebody in mind.
I could use a couple of minutes to think about it if you want to go.
Yeah, so I'll talk through it. So somebody to fall from grace.
Yeah.
First person that comes to mind, right? I know he is an American and he is an Olympian, but that dude that just won the 100 meters, Noah Lyles, I really was almost rooting for him to not win the 100 meters just so he could sit he could go to freaking the cafeteria in the morning at the Olympic Village and just have a bronze medal hanging on his chest. And the Olympic basketball team could just ask him who's the world champion now.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'm not going to go that route because I still am glad that he won, even though he is. I said this last week. He's a cornball. Fall from grace. See, the people I actively dislike in real life, they never got the grace, so they can't fall from it. You know what I mean? You catching what I'm saying, Mike?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just and they don't have to be,
But I have
they don't have to
somebody.
be A-list celebrities. They can just be anybody. Fall from lower than where they're at now.
I have somebody. Miles Bridges.
Okay,
I don't.
random.
Yeah.
I
I
don't.
mean,
I don't.
tell me why, because explain it to me.
Um, because he's beaten his wife and gotten. There's no. The NBA has a very lax policy with domestic abuse,
Okay.
and I'm personally in the camp of no tolerance for that kind of thing. Now, I don't think, obviously people make mistakes or whatever, but it's just not for me. You're a guy that big, that strong, who can bully grown men. You don't need to be doing that. Same thing with Greg Hardy.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I do love about Greg Hardy is that after he was, I think, blackballed from the NFL, because after what he did, he didn't play really anymore. He decided to dip his toes into the MMA world, and he's just been getting absolutely fucking wrecked by everybody he fights. I mean, he's getting his ass straight up whooped, and
He's
I think that's hilarious.
he started out pretty strong because he's a freak athlete.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
guy.
he's a monster of a person.
But he's got a glass fucking jaw, dude. His jaw is made out of paper mache. I saw him get flattened in like some fucking backwater boxing match last week.
Yeah.
And that's what you fucking get.
I'll tell you, I got another, not a person that I want to fall from grace. Do you have Twitter, Mike? X?
I mean, no, but I mean, I see tweets.
Okay, so on Twitter, there's these accounts. There's this one account specifically called NBA Central, and it kind of reports on news in the NBA world. And there's like fake or parody accounts created off NBA Central, and it'll just be like one letter missing out of Central, so it'll be like NBA Central, and they will post the most ridiculous thing in the world, and I believe it every single time I'm reading it because it's got the verified check and everything.
Yeah.
And then I'm almost sending it to somebody to be like, what the heck? And then I realize they got me again.
The one that's been the best is Ball Sack Sports. Like they've been on Sports Center a couple of times. Like, how are you taking anything at face value when the account is called Ball Sack Sports?
Yeah, just people not reading it. Oh man. Yeah, so that's who I want to fall from grace. NBA Central.
NBA Central. They almost got you, huh?
They get me every time.
All right. So Trey, being a military man, you're an active officer in the military. I don't know if I can say that out loud. I don't know if you have to bleep that out, but you are an active officer. If you were 5-star general, you were running shit, who would you bomb and why?
So I'm big on I gotta think about how I'm gonna word this.
Put the diplomacy hat on, make it a,
So these views do not represent the DoD. Let's just start that right there.
of course.
Um, I would end this whole Russia-Ukraine thing today.
You bombing Ukraine or you bombing Russia?
Russia.
Okay.
So like I think Russia's doing this whole Ukraine thing because they know that no one's really gonna stop them. We're sending all this money and aid and equipment over to Ukraine, which I think could be stopped today if we just invade. I think Russia pulls back because they're not equipped to fight a large scale operation like this. So I think if we just went into Ukraine, I think it stops tomorrow. We could stop sending all this aid and money, and it would all be over.
Yeah. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because this could be just propaganda that's being spread. But Russia is supposedly a world power. I mean, they have, a ludicrous amount of nukes. They're supposed to be, the biggest and the baddest. But are they really getting not manhandled, but they're not winning against Ukraine, which is like a small little country where they're giving guns to kids in the streets?
So Russia should have wiped Ukraine out in probably less than a month.
Yes.
They had very, very bad tactical mistakes from the jump, and they invaded, and they thought it was going to be so quick and swift. They didn't secure their supply lines correctly.
Wow.
So basically, they had all these troops way forward and weren't able to get all of their food and fuel and everything like that to them, so they could sustain this push on the offensive. So that was just like hiccup number one. And then immediately the US starts sending missiles and money and aid, right? We're not like sending missiles like over, but we're giving them the means to then we have these anti-tank missiles
Yeah.
were absolutely wrecking their supply lines. So they can't do anything because none of their tanks have fuel, right? And now it's turned into some like guerrilla warfare that they really just don't, they're not anticipated fighting. And honestly, all the Russian soldiers, like they thought they were going on some training exercise. They didn't realize they were invading Ukraine. Like because the way the government works, they don't tell anybody anything. It's just like, hey, here are your orders, go execute. So like there was no plan, there was no nothing, and that's why they're failing. They have the combat power, right? They have the nukes, they have the tanks, they have the people, but their failures are they're not planning correctly.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Trey. This seems like a leadership issue.
Yeah, so a thing that distinguishes the US from Russia is that the US has two very distinguishable leadership roles, right? We have the officers and then we have the non-commissioned officers, which are like we call them the backbone of the army. They're the ones, they're the doers, they're the trainers, they're the ones that execute things, and they have decision-making authority. The officers basically sit back and plan things at the strategic level, right? In Russia, it's just officers. So like they don't have that tactical experience, and it's just a bunch of people saying like, hey, do this, and then nobody that's actually on the ground has like decision-making authority to then execute things. So it's like something happens and then they have to call back freaking into Moscow and be like, hey, can I do this? So yeah.
And that's what they get for being commie fucks.
Commie fucks.
From everything that I've heard, and anecdotal, completely vicarious anecdotal experiences, but the Russian people, pretty fucking cool people, you know. They just want to drink and you know and have fun and but there's some type of disconnect between the old Russian government and the Russian people. So I don't want to I don't want to spew hate on Russia, but
No.
the Russian government and the Russian military are a bunch of cucks. They just need to fucking relax.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
the people, I mean, that's what happens with all these fucking wars and proxy
Yeah.
wars. The people suffer. I mean, I have no issue with the Russian people or the Ukrainian people or, Israelis or Palestinians or anything. It's these fucking governments that just they want to sit in their office and send all these poor people out to die for fucking, so Putin could have an extra couple acres on the fucking south side. It's sad.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
but
we could end it right now. Put Putin and MikeyTwoSticks in a cage.
whoo, that'd be something, wouldn't
You think he lasts around?
it? Maybe in his youth. I mean, look, I'm not John Jones, you know, I'm not some professional fighter. In his youth, he was fucking KGB and the motherfucker was a killer, you know? But now, what is he, 70 years old?
Easily.
I'm whooping that motherfucker's ass easily, with ease. And I mean,
Put him down in one.
I'm having fun with it. I'm putting him in the Guy Williams. I'm slapping him around a little bit. You know, like it's gonna be a fun. But no, back in the day, KGB Putin slaughtering me. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, he's like dicing me up.
I mean, you don't get to that level being a weak man. I would say.
No, it's especially the KGB. I mean, they probably like waterboard you. They put you through rigorous, like they probably make you actually have knife fights. Like the survivor moves on to the next round. Like he's probably killed many people in hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, it's not like that fairy bullshit that they put our officers through that let
Yeah,
them
no, no.
advance.
I mean, and a lot of our officers, they have manicures and they never see the field and you know, squeamish, really. I mean, God help them if they ever find themselves in the field of duty. They'd be
In the
fucked.
field, let alone any type of physical altercation. Like
Oh,
if they have,
even with a civilian. I mean, if some of
that's
these
what I'm
officers
saying.
in the military had a civilian altercation, they would be embarrassed.
Yeah, like just say like perhaps if a random military officer from Alabama came to Wilmington, North Carolina, and tried to confront me at a bar or something,
Yeah.
it would be brutal. It'd be a massacre.
Yeah, it would not end well for him. He might not make it back to Alabama.
That's
You
what
know,
I'm saying.
God help him.
Yeah.
God help him if he finds himself in Orlando, Florida, and we cross paths. Shit. Yeah, but luckily with people like that, they know their place. So we don't really have to worry about them stepping out of line too often, you know?
Yeah, and it's good. It's because I don't want to be that type of guy to have to put down a weaker, smaller man, but I will if I'm pushed to it.
If push comes to shove,
Exactly.
I'm not above putting somebody back in their place, but I also don't like violence. You know, it doesn't make me feel good to beat up on an inferior human. But if they puff up their chest, they start talking a whole bunch of hot shit, and they come at me, is what it is.
Yeah, so like I love these thoughts you guys have. Um, and Mike, I don't really have much for you because you may be right. If I came into Orlando and tried to put hands on you, it may not go well for me. Uh, but Tyler, I find you at the Sea Witch, right? Your eyes are already crossed, right? All I gotta do is not let you hit me for about 10 seconds, and you're gonna be winded. And then I'm just gonna have my way with you.
It's convenient that you have to come at me when I'm already intoxicated because
You said finds me at a bar. I've seen you at the bar.
You did say that. You did say that.
I did say that. And I have a violent strength that comes over me when I've been drinking. But let's, you know, uh kind of walk away from that. You got two more questions, Mike.
Two more questions. I've only asked Trey one question, correct?
Yeah,
Correct.
and you asked a question for both of us.
Oh yeah. Okay, all right. Two more questions. So, Tyler, let me think about this one. I had it in my mind, but you know how things go when you go off on tangents. You kind of lose the train of thought. Um, I think this is a good one for you because you have a false sense of you have hubris with certain things. So I think that you would give an honest answer. If you had to pick one athlete outside of basketball that you could beat in their respective sport, a professional athlete, who would it be and why?
I appreciate you acknowledging my ego.
Yeah.
Truthfully, I'm a guy who knows exactly how good I am. There are no professional basketball players who I could beat, at least at the NBA level or high level Europe stuff. There's no guys that I could beat. I'm not an idiot. So, and that's my only good sport.
Yeah.
So I really could not beat any professional athletes in their respective sports, truthfully. Um, I I'd be hard pressed to even know which sport to go with. I'm not a strong softball player, so I would be a piss poor baseball player. I played one game of JV football. I'm not going to be able to hold any of those guys. My only possibility is to play somebody in pool
Mm,
and hope they bag the eight ball. That's my real honest answer.
okay. It's a rational answer.
Yeah, it would have to be pool, and if we're playing, and only if we're playing eight ball, you know, stripes and solids. If we're playing nine ball or something like that, nine ball, 10 ball, I'm not going to be able to. I'm not going to be able to compete.
Yeah. That's honestly, that's an extremely rational answer. And that kind of hit me off guard. I was not expecting a rational, well thought out answer. I was expecting some type of outlandish, crazy like concept that you were going to bring up, but I respect it.
Even I can surprise.
All right, another one for Tyler. Then I'll ask Trey one last question. Tyler, you find yourself in an altercation that's going to turn physical. There's no way around it. It's going to happen. What's your first go-to move? What are you doing?
Truthfully,
Yeah,
um,
hand
on,
to hand. No weapons.
oh
Nobody's
yeah,
got a
yeah.
knife. Nobody's got a gun. Hand to hand. What's your go-to?
Um, two options here, and obviously this would play out differently if someone's way bigger than me or way smaller than me. But I'm gonna say it's a guy my size, bigger guy, like 250 ish. Um, if he's real close to me, like if we're real close to each other, I'm gonna headbutt him on the crown of his nose.
Hmm.
and break his nose. But if we're a little farther apart, I'm gonna front kick him as hard as I can in his kneecap and try and break his leg.
It's a solid answer.
I mean, truthfully, I'm not a skilled fighter. I think it's Trey's talked about this before. Like, whoever's more violent would win, and I think that's where I would win. I'm not like skilled or anything. I don't have some fucking iron jaw. Like if I get hit 2 or 3 times, I'm going the fuck down. It's just, and if someone knows how to wrestle, they're whipping my ass. So I'm just gonna try and be more violent. I'm gonna hit them with my head. I'm gonna kick them in their knees. I'll elbow them. I'll probably bite the motherfucker. I mean, there's no rules out there.
Yeah, I'm an eye gouge guy myself. I mean, I'm gouging your fucking eyes out. I mean, there's no honor in a street fight. I mean, I want to go home at the end of the night. So I'm gonna hurt you.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to get hurt, and if you come at me, I'm gonna try and break your fucking leg.
Yeah.
So Tyler, you're pulling a Wes and headbutting.
I'll well, it sounds strange because I don't have the strongest head. In terms of headbutting, I've probably got the fourth, really. I'll name them. I got the fourth best head, buddy. Anyway, pause. Number one, Wes. He might decapitate a man with that fucking thing. Number two is Mike. But he's not going to headbutt you. He's so fucking short and small. He's going to up you in your chin.
You're an inch taller than I am, Tyler.
We can't prove that.
Okay. Short and small.
And third,
That's diabolical.
You're short and small compared to him. He's he's big and tall.
Small, maybe, because he's so fat, but I wouldn't say short.
anyway, third best head for headbutting is your brother with that
Oh.
fucking massive head on his head. Head on his head, head on his shoulders.
Head on his shoulders.
Yeah, he's got a dome piece on him.
He's got leverage too, because that thing comes from so high up. It's momentum, it's leverage. It's like a fucking catapult. He's just launching.
Yeah, he's like a brachiosaurus with that long neck.
He's got good head and a long neck. He's got it all.
Does. Runs in the it's in the genes.
Hey.
All right. You got one last question?
One last one for Randy. Give me a second.
The hard topics. You ponder away.
Pondering.
I'm gonna just to
If you had to do it all over again and you didn't go into the military, what path would you choose for a career?
That's a good question, and I do think about that a lot. Because I bounced the idea of getting out of the military. And I think the path that I would go into now, getting out of the military, would be different than what I started. If I just out of college got a job. I think if I, finished college, was trying to figure out which path I wanted to go, it would probably be some type of sales thing. And I don't necessarily think I would have, it's not because I think I would thrive in a sales role. I think I would struggle at first. But I think there is, money to be made there. And I think it's a big work ethic type job. And there's a direct correlation between how much you put into what you get out of it. So I think I could have ended up, making a good living out of it and then eventually gotten good at it. So I think that's probably the path I would have taken.
Yeah, sales. I mean, just in general, sales is the highest paying profession in the world. Like, aside from fucking being a CEO or being a business owner, on average, salespeople make the most money. Because if you can sell, you always have a job. It doesn't matter what you're selling, doesn't matter what you're doing. So yeah, I mean, and you're right. It is all about work ethic. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. The hardest working people make the most money.
True shit. All right, so moving into our last segment of the episode, pet peeves, right? So I have a pet peeve. I'm gonna go ahead and start with my pet peeve just to kind of get it out of the way. So when I go home from work every day, the way I go is I have to drive past the airfield and the drop zone, and I pass through this long range road. It's like a 2-lane highway, almost mimics like a river road style thing. It's not that far. And at the end of it, you come to a stop sign and there's like a bunch of speed bumps when I go through the gate. So I cruise because a lot of people like run on that road and they sneak up on you pretty quick. And I don't want to accidentally impale a person running alongside the road. So I don't go too fast, right? I usually hit about 60. Nothing too crazy. But my pet peeve is when I come around this hairpin turn that I got to slow down for, and somebody immediately passes me because they think I'm going slow because I didn't take the turn at 50 miles an hour. And then they end up going slower than I would have been going. Pet peeve, drives me crazy. Happens all the time.
Yeah, that used to happen to me a lot when I would drive the tractor trailers. People would get in front of me and then just slow down. And I'm thinking to myself, you're a fucking cuck. Like I wasn't slowing you down. Now you're gonna slow me down.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's extremely frustrating.
And one thing about the tractor trailer scenario is some of these people don't understand there's 80,000 pounds of momentum carrying these things forward. If they cut off a tractor trailer and then stop immediately, they're a fucking accordion. They're getting crumbled.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
die.
that's one thing I've never understood. There'd be times I'm pulling a 20-foot refrigerated container of flammable refrigerant, and people would cut me off. I'm like, dude, this is a bomb. This is 40,000-pound bomb. Why are you cutting me off?
Yeah, no, I'll never understand. I mean, I guess it's ignorance. People don't really think about it, but I work in that industry and I've seen it happen many times. So like, it's a extremely real possibility that it could happen.
And you'll fucking die, and you won't even be recognizable. They won't be able to put your fucking body back together.
Yeah,
And like,
all for what? Save 3 seconds.
yeah,
Yeah.
big on like the highways when you're driving on the highway. Like when the tractor trailer will give some space if he knows the traffic's slowing down, and people will just freaking zoom into there. And I'm just like, brother, you got a death wish, man. He's giving space so he can stop.
It's to stop for if you're going 60 miles an hour, it takes a mile to stop. So just think about that, all you listeners who don't respect truck drivers.
Yeah. Well, now let's slow down. Let's slow down. Truck drivers are the trash of existence. I mean, they are the worst. So let's just get that straight. I do respect them. 90% of them are awful human beings. But
You see it from a different side than I was in the truck, so you see it from a different side.
yeah,
You see the bullshit, the haggling. I'll tell you what, they are the group of people that complain the most out of every God, they fucking complain. It's delivery drivers in general, not just truck drivers. It's anybody who does a delivery. God damn, do they fucking yap.
yeah,
That's a good segue into my pet peeve. It's when it's an overcast day and you don't get wet all day. And then on my last delivery, torrential downpour and you get soaking fucking wet. That's my pet peeve.
I mean, it could be worse. You could have gotten wet at the beginning of the day and just had to stay wet all day.
that is true.
I'd rather that because I'm petty.
Yeah, then you got wet socks all day.
Whoa. We're not talking about wet socks. My socks didn't get wet today. It's my body. I can't do wet socks at all. I hate that shit.
If you didn't get wet socks, did you really get wet?
Yes. Not everybody likes to slum it in the fucking mud and wherever the fuck you live and get lice and shit in their cock.
Yeah,
Listen.
yeah, I can confirm I do not like that. I do not like lice in my cock.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 would not recommend.
Yeah.
And you're the one who's got to watch out for the little crabbies now that you're on the fucking street.
Oh, you're talking to me. You're talking about specific types of crabs.
Now I'm just saying, lice for your cock.
I mean,
Crabs.
if we're being real, I'm raw dogging with not a care in the world.
You're raw dogging?
Not a care in the world.
You're raw dogging these Latins on the fucking street, bro?
Look, there's medicine to take care of every problem you can have.
Not everyone.
Well, not everyone, but the most of them. Most of them. I mean, I'm,
You
I'm not,
listen.
I'm not out here fucking street urchins. I'm fucking normal people.
I know you're fucking regular people, but regular people have STDs.
Yeah, but they
Listen,
look clean. They pass the eye test.
God damn, man. Fuck this. This is gonna be like on your funeral in 12 years when you get the
Oh, hey, you
HIV.
need to slow down. Don't even put
That,
that out there, okay?
that's a real possibility,
Oh
but
gosh,
Look,
you're really putting a damper on my free lifestyle right now, okay?
I want you to be happy and healthy.
Okay.
I
I'll
admire,
wrap up the next one, okay? I promise for you. I'll think of you when I'm putting it on.
I admire what you think of these random women. Um, I do. I admire you.
I mean, I'm dealing with high class ladies, okay? They're not out here fucking and sucking every day of the week. They're very particular in who they choose, and that's why they chose me.
Hey, more power to you.
Yeah.
I got a question before you tell us your pet peeve, Mike. Um, are you gonna bag any Iranians?
Iranians? I
Yeah.
mean, it's not on the list, but I'm also not gonna shy away from it, you know?
Oh, there's a list.
I mean, the hypothetical list. It's not like it's something that I have a
I
circle
mean,
around and I'm waiting
you
to
gotta
cross it
have
out.
you gotta have a hierarchy of who
Yeah,
you're one, right?
yeah. I mean,
And just be honest with us. Who's at the bottom?
who's at I can't say it.
What
I'll get canceled. I'll get canceled. I can't
what
say it.
nationality is at the
They're
bottom?
they're a protected class. I can't say it.
All right, tell us your pet peeve.
But I think you know.
If it is what I think it is, I'm a little disappointed. Are they at the top of mine?
Yes.
Oh, that's
They're
disappointing.
they're at the very top of yours.
That's disappointing.
How is that disappointing?
How can we be so similar yet so different?
Look, different strokes for different folks. I mean,
Literally.
I think me and
Yeah.
Trey would probably agree. Me and Trey would probably be more in line with our lists of hierarchy.
On this, I think for
On
sure.
this one, yes.
Yes, I think for sure. Me and Wes are probably more in line.
I would say so. And again, it has nothing to do with physical attributes. I'm a big fan. It's more of the
You can leave it at that.
yeah.
How smart.
You can leave it. You can leave it right there, brother.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go into your pet peeves because we're getting awfully close to that line.
Pet peeve of mine, and this one has come up multiple times throughout my life. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's really annoying. When you try to help out your friend, when your friend's like basically begging you on bended knee, like please help me, like buy from me, give me business, give me, etc. Like utilize my services for my career. And then they make it almost fucking impossible for you to communicate with them. And they take more than 3 weeks to get a quote back to you. And you basically have to treat them as if you're the businessman and they're the client. You have to knock down their door for a fucking quote. That really grinds my gears.
We don't need to really mince words. That's our friend Chris, who's an
That's Chris
insurance,
Tingo. That's Chris Tingo.
and there is I'm having to go elsewhere with my business because it took so long. He's a good agent, but I don't think he prioritizes the friends as much as he should when he's
No,
doing.
not at all. I mean, it's free. It's free fucking business
Yeah, I
with
don't even care
friends.
what the money is. Like I'll pay more to go through him.
Yeah, I was going to use him regardless of what the price was until he took literally 3.5 weeks to get me a quote back. And in that time, I got a quote through one of my other friends that got me a quote back within the span of 48 hours. And his wound up being half the price of Chris's.
Chris does have 2 kids, I will say.
Oh,
You know,
pish posh. Jalen's a stay-at-home wife, essentially. She takes care of the fucking kids. Yeah, that's not it.
I'm not. Jalen has a job.
Yeah, but again, I might be ignorant to the facts on this, but she has a weekend job, right? Or like a nighttime job or something. She doesn't work full time. She works like sporadically, right? Am I wrong?
I think you're wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
I think she works like 30 hours a week.
Well, that's a lot more than I thought. Well, at least the last time we talked about it, that's what she was doing. We haven't spoke about it in a very long time.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to cut all this out.
Why?
He doesn't listen to it.
That's fair.
And
Well,
we're not speaking ill on him as a person. He's just a shitty insurance rep.
No, I'm talking about you thinking Jalen's a stay-at-home wife.
Why is that a bad thing? I think that's a fucking great honor to be a stay-at-home wife. That's one of the most important jobs on the planet. Stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home wife, fucking pointless. You're a stain on society. Stay-at-home mom is.
Can I make a joke?
Go ahead.
I was going to say you already tried that one.
Yeah. Did not work out. Did not work out. So
roasted. Got him.
yeah, but no, stay-at-home mom. I don't want you to cut this out. I wanted to hear this. Stay-at-home mom is a integral part of society. I think it's the most important job in the world.
And I think she's a great mom.
Oh, of course. She's a saint of a woman to deal with Chris. On top of taking care of two kids.
This really all kind of goes back to him kind of sucking.
Yeah, just overall general sucking aura that is Chris Tingo. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
He won't know because he hasn't listened to one episode of this, which honestly bothers me. But
bad friend. Not only is he a shitty insurance agent, pathological liar, bad friend. Won't even listen to one podcast.
One of my best friends in the world. I'm the godfather to his firstborn child. Can't listen to one episode.
Diabolical.
You got any thoughts on the situation?
I think, when you go to work, you should be working.
Man, a few words, but you're right.
I mean, am I
wrong?
wrong?
Work, you need to be working.
All right, but I think we're gonna wrap it up. I have dinner to eat because I am literally gonna wither away. So it has been real. I am glad we finally got you on. It has been a long time coming.
I mean, I'm the last one to join. I don't know if it's the best for last, or I don't know if I was the last choice. I don't know what that kind of looks like, but happy to be.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a pleasure as always, and I am very excited to see you in October when we do our friendship. And I'll be even more excited to receive those pennies at my door.
No, I'm very much looking forward to the French trip. I think it's going to be a good time.
It is.
And I look forward to spreading my seed in a new city.
All right, dog.
Let's end it there.
See you guys
next time. See you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.